Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Michelle is my name. If it's your first time here, hello, that's how I sing. And welcome. I am getting ready to go on a flight, so I figured as I do my makeup, I might as well sit here and just share a few things that have been heavy on my heart, that have been going on in my life, and yeah, basically just, you know, just pour into your spirit in these few minutes, and I hope that you get blessed. All right, let's just get straight into the video. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna powder my face. I've already primed and everything, so I just want to powder just a bit so I'm not too shiny throughout the day or the night, because it's actually a night flight. So how have you guys been? How are you doing? How is your spirit? How is your heart? How is everything going in your life? I have actually found myself wanting to do this video and just share on a few things, life hacks if you would, you know, just stuff that I've learned through the years and through these couple of months since I started YouTube. And basically I just wanted to share with you guys and just do a sit down video and, you know, maybe get your opinion as well in the comments if you have anything to share with me as well. So I have some of them listed on my phone. It's not a lot, it's just a few things that, you know, like I said, I've always wanted to share. So yeah, I'll just go straight into it because I feel like I'm rambling. Actually, before I tell you guys what those hacks are, I've had I actually recently had sort of a dream. I don't know if I should say it's a dream or it's like just thoughts in my head, but it was basically the depiction of just how God is in our lives, you know, and how He is basically walking with us in our lives. And so I'll just tell you what it was exactly. I was so I had this vision in my head of when you're a child, right, and you're just walking like in town in a very crowded place with like your mom or your dad, and they're holding your hand, right? And you know how as a child sometimes you're just walking around looking, you know, and everything just amazes you and you're really surprised and fascinated by just everything around you, and you just walk around looking and sometimes slowing down, losing focus, you know, just being completely absent-minded, you know, and not really focused on where you should be going, right? Which is where you and your parent are supposed to be going. So I just thought of myself, you know, with my mom holding my hand, and I'm walking, and so I lose focus, and I'm kind of like stopping to see, you know, maybe something catches my attention, and I'm stopping to see and just kind of pay attention and look at what that thing is. And you know, just when your mom slowly kind of tags on you, you know, and just says, let's go, like twende tujafika, you know, like we need to keep going. And you realize that in that moment you had taken your eye off the focus and literally stood to look at something else and to focus on something else that was really not your point of destination, if I could say that. It was not your destination, it was not your destiny. And when I think of God's relationship with us, I just feel like there's so many times that our attention is captured by some other stuff, and we are lost in this other thing that we forget where we're going, and we forget where we're supposed to be headed to. And you stop, and instead of, you just basically just forget everything and just stop and focus on this one thing. And in those moments, God just comes up to you and says, Atujafika, we're still going, we still have a lot to cover. We still need to get to this place, and we're getting late, so you need to walk quickly. Which is kind of what our parents used to tell us, like tembe haraka, twende, keep walking. And that just reminded me of who God is to us, and how sometimes in our lives we just get so engrossed by things that don't even matter, and things that don't even count towards the big picture and what we should really be pressing onto. And I feel like to us as Christians, and just as human beings in general, it's basically living out your purpose and just getting to the goal and to what God has called you for, and I think this will bring me now into the life hacks that I was talking about, and just the stuff that we need to kind of be aware of and do to be able to achieve and reach our purpose and our goal in life. And one of the things that I wanted to share, or the first thing that I wanted to share, was that you just need to basically stay true to who you are. Sometimes in life different things happen and situations happen that kind of sometimes change you and cause you to be different. It might be a good different, it might be a bad different, but all in all, when I say you should stay true to who you are, it just basically means you always need to know, how do I say this? You always need to be what God intended you to be, and follow only that path and nothing else, and this is all that matters, this is all that counts, and nothing else really does, so just basically stay true to who you are. It doesn't matter if other people think you've changed, or they think you're this or that, or you used to be this and now you're this. All that counts is what God thinks about you, and all that counts is what you truly are in your core, inside of you. And that is what I'm talking about when I say stay true to who you are. And the other thing that I also wanted to share is that you need to choose who and what you let into your life. I feel like in these times there's a lot of things that is shoved down our throats and in our faces, through social media and TV and just everything, and everything is just rushing towards you, and you really need to make a decision of what you take in and what you just say, what you consume basically. And I think it's really important to also put people in that same category and say, I don't need this person in my life, and this person is okay, but at this point of my life I don't need this, the energy, or I don't need this type of, I don't even know how to explain it, but I'm sure you guys understand what I mean. I'm sure you know what I'm saying. So I think it's really important to make a choice and an informed decision, and to be deliberate and say, I don't need this in my life. Be it social media, be it the music you're listening to, be it the friends that you keep, the company, just saying no to stuff, and I don't need this. I really don't, and it's not necessary for it to be in my life, and to just cut it off, just say enough and move on. Because on your journey there are people that you will need to take with you, and there are people that you won't. They'll just be baggage, and there are things that you'll need to go with, and there are things that you won't. It'll be excess baggage. So just let it go. don't ever take with you something that you don't need. And I think this is where prayer comes in, you know. There are times we're conflicted and we really don't know, should we take this with us or should we leave this, you know? Should I still be with this person? Should I walk away? And at that point, the only thing that can save you is prayer. God is the only one who can really just light your path and show you this, you don't need this and you need this, and this is what I need you to take forward with you to get to your destiny. So yeah, which brings me to my next point, which was actually prayer. I was going to say focusing on your spiritual man and growing your spiritual man is the most fulfilling thing that you can do in your life, because I feel like if your spiritual man is alive and growing, then everything else will be so much easier to deal with, because you always have somewhere to go, kind of like to draw from, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're empty and you know everything out there is empty, then you can never look within yourself to find something to kind of keep you going, to kind of build you up. So definitely focus on, you know, prayer and fasting and just building the spiritual man, and really just encouraging yourself in those moments and letting yourself or allowing yourself to separate yourself from everything else and just focus on building your spiritual man and just building your spirit basically, and listening to what God has to say about your life and about your destiny. It's very important, because prayer will give you answers, and prayer will reveal a lot of things that on a normal day you just, you know, wouldn't have a clue on what to do. So yeah, that was the other thing I was gonna say. I'm now going to go in with my Smashbox concealer. Smashbox, what did I say? Smashbox. And just to highlight under my eyes. This is actually a new concealer that I'm trying. It's the 24-hour, is it called Creaseless 24-hour concealer? I don't know what the full name is. Oh, Studio Skin Flawless 24-hour concealer. I used it on a flight before, on a very long flight, and it was really good. It didn't crack, did not crease, and so this is my second time using it, and I hope it just lasts just as good. I'm really liking it so far. So yeah, what was the other thing I wanted to share with you guys? Just on a side note, I feel like when I got into like the YouTube space, I had expectations, right? And I feel like I put expectations on people, you know, on myself, yes, but on people as well, because you end up hoping and just expecting people to, hold on, let me pick up a small mirror so I can look forward. You end up expecting people to support you, you know, and things don't always go as you expected. People are not always as supportive as you thought they would be. Not because they don't want to be. Sometimes people are just engrossed in their own world, you know. People just have their own issues and their own stuff to worry about. But in that moment, it looks like you're kind of alone, and you know, just you're not getting as much as you thought you would. But it has also taught me a lot of things, because it has taught me not to kind of put expectations on other people, because you really do that without knowing. You find yourself putting expectations on people and basically just wanting them to respond or act as you know, as you want to, but that doesn't always happen, you know. And so I just keep reminding myself that every day, and just basically not putting any pressure on myself with regards to like the content I'm putting out and how often I'm putting it out, you know, just basically allowing myself to do the stuff that I can do and that I'm able to do, and not pushing myself beyond, you know, my limits. Because I feel like when you start to do that, that's where you get to a point where you kind of burn out and you feel exhausted, and you know, just YouTube becomes a job that you're doing. And I don't want to get to a place where I feel like I must put out a video this week, or I must do this, you know. I kind of try to pace myself and say, you know what, you don't have a video, you don't have a video, it's fine. I mean, so far I've managed to kind of be mostly consistent, but there are times that I do find myself struggling when I feel like I haven't met the deadline. But I'm just slowly telling myself, you know what, Michelle, it's actually fine. You know, like, no one has died and no one will die, so just calm down, it's fine. You know, and that has really made me enjoy this space, because I don't feel like I'm pressurized to do stuff. I don't feel like I'm pressured. Does they say pressurized? Is that a word? Well, pressurized, pressure, whichever, I don't feel it. Yeah, I just feel like I'm working at my own pace, which I love and I appreciate, and I'm growing at my own speed, which I love, because now I don't feel like I keep looking at, are my subscribers growing, is my channel, you know, my views growing. I don't feel like that. I just feel I'm just okay, and I feel like it's a great place to be. And maybe because also my focus has been on other stuff, like growing my spiritual man, and not really, you know, focusing on things outside of myself, but focusing on things within. Does that make sense? I hope it does. The other thing I wanted to share was, hold on, let me just look at my list because I forget quickly, is to ration your social media. You know, basically just know when to get off social media and take a break, and know how to basically just manage your time, you know, and make sure you're not always looking at what other people are getting up to, what other people are doing, because then that takes away from what you should be doing, because you're busy worried about what other people are doing, you know, just stuff. What are they concerned about? What is out there? What matters? What is trending? Instead of just focusing on what is important to you at that point of your life. You know, is it your marriage? Is it school? Is it your job? Is it, I mean, just focusing basically on what you need to get done, and not, you know, paying attention to everything else that should be important, so to speak. So yeah. So I've set the rest of my face, and I'm now just gonna go in with the bronzer. The bronzer that I'm using today is from Benefit, and this is their Hooray bronzer. I don't know if you guys can see it clearly. And this is actually, it's not a new bronzer, but it's the Hooray bronzer toasted. It's like a darker version of the original Hooray bronzer, and this thing, oh, I really love. If you follow me on Instagram, you know from my Insta stories that I've been looking for a bronzer, and I was really excited when the Fenty Fenty said they were coming up with a bronzer. But I recently went to Sephora and I tried their bronzers, and the darker one was a bit too red for me, and so I decided, you know what, let me try something else. And I'm so glad I did, because I feel like I've been sleeping on this one. It's been out for a while, and it's really just, I feel like it's just the perfect shade of bronzer that I've always wanted. I know I look a little crazy with all the powder on my face, but promise you guys it's gonna be okay in the end. I don't know if you guys can see how much just warmth that adds onto my face, and I know I should be using like a more fluffier brush for the bronzer, but I'm just going to use this one to just kind of like chisel out my cheekbones in this area. So basically what I was just gonna say is just focus your time on building good habits. You know, habits eventually become your lifestyle, and whatever you choose to focus on, whatever you choose to put your time and attention on, is basically what your lifestyle will be like. You know, if you, I don't want to really expound on that point, I'm sure it makes sense as is, but I just feel like I want to just say, if you pay attention to your prayer life and just your, I don't know, just reading the word and really just saturating yourself in what God has to say about your life, then everything will just be much clearer, and you'll be able to see just everything for what it is, if I may say that. Because I feel like sometimes our minds and just basically we get so overwhelmed by stuff, but every time you go to God, everything just becomes so much clearer. Not necessarily every time, let me not say that, because at times you struggle and you feel like heaven is literally silent, but just hang in there, you know, just stay there and bask in God's goodness and in His presence, and eventually you'll just know what God is saying about what situation it is in your life that you're dealing with. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share today. I feel like sometimes, you know, like the analogy of the child and the parent, it is the smallest of things that kind of just bring me to the realization of what God is to me and how He kind of operates in my life. Because we do tend to overlook, like, I don't know, we do tend to lose focus and just be in our own world when God is literally calling you to something else that you could focus on. And so yeah, just a little reminder on, you know, just paying attention and being aware of the decisions that you make in your life. See how nice that bronzer is? It's quite nice. And I take this brush and blend all over. You guys have seen this a billion times. Just basically blend everything together. Make sure there's no like line where you can see where the bronzer starts. And if you use a fluffier brush, it really helps in blending as well. That way you don't have like a line. I'm just trying out the brush that comes with a bronzer. I would typically use a huge powder brush, and I have sunburn, I think, or just a bit of dryness in this area. I'm sure you guys are not able to see, but yeah. For highlighter today, I'm going in with my Black Radiance contour palette. You just want to put just a bit of highlight, not too much. Just right there, and I'll blend it out. So that is all I wanted to share with you guys. I don't have much to say. I would say this YouTube journey is definitely a journey. It's not an easy one, but it's definitely fun, and it teaches you a lot. That it does. It definitely teaches you a lot of things, patience being one of them. You know, just being patient with yourself mostly. Like, it all starts from here, you know. Be patient with yourself. Be just compassionate with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Don't beat yourself up too much. Give yourself some credit. So it has really taught me a lot of things about myself, and I'm grateful. I'm really just grateful for the journey and you know, just the chance to do it, all in all. So finally, I just wanted to share that life is much more productive when you plan your time. hanging out with your friends is great, but not at the expense of your family. Hanging out with your family and like your kids is great, but not at the expense of spending time with God, or like in prayer, or just taking time away and just worshiping and just being in God's presence. So everything could be important, but you know, you need to, at the end of the day, just kind of have a balance and strike a balance in each and everything. And I just wanted to share this verse from 1 Corinthians 10:23, and it says, I'll read the NIV version and then I'll read the New Living Translation. And it says, I have the right to do anything, you say, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but not everything is constructive. And the New Living Translation says, you say, I'm allowed to do anything, but not everything is good for you. You say, I'm allowed to do anything, but not everything is beneficial. I'll just leave you guys with that. Just think about the stuff in your life, and may God lead you and give you wisdom on how to live your life for Him, and how to live your life wholesome and in its complete and total fulfillment of His purpose for your life. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you guys for your support so far. I am completely blessed by the support that you have shown me, and I pray that God will continue to refresh you as you have refreshed me. God bless you, and I'll see you in my next video.